If only for those opening 12 minutes alone, we can at last applaud a random horror sequel.
The people that are left, they're not the kind of people worth saving.
Welcome back to Being Afraid of Stepping on Leaves or Stubbing Your Toe, the movie. Also known as Cillian Murphy Loves a Good Apocalypse, he does, the movie. Also known as What If Old Lady Librarians Had the Power to Rip You Limb from Limb, the movie. A Quiet Place Part 2 stars Emily Blunt as Evelyn, who's just lost her husband, given birth, probably shit her pants for 3 different reasons, and lost her home all in the last 12 hours. And now she has to go on a little walk with her kids while holding a trunk, a heavy trunk in one arm and a baby in the other, and try to keep her kids alive through the raw dog power of guilt tripping. Yes. It also stars Cillian Murphy, who's mostly just grumpy bastard number 1 character, and the whole film is about Evelyn trying to help her daughter achieve her dream of being on the radio. This took all the right notes about what worked from the first film, which quite simply is what a sequel is meant to do. I think the themes are so beautiful in the first film about kind of having kids and what you're willing to do for them and how far you'll go as a parent. And this kind of extends that theme in the way you would almost want it to, not by just doing the same thing, but by kind of following that theme to its natural conclusion, which is that after you've done whatever you can for kids, eventually there comes a point where they'll be the ones who inherit your world, who continue your work potentially. And that's very much what this is about his daughter, Lee, after he's gone, trying to continue his work and do things that he couldn't have even imagined based on the kind of stuff he was doing down in that basement in the first film. And it is another short, snappy, tense thriller, which is great. It's not the best in the franchise. It is probably the worst in the franchise for me. I'm surprised to see so many people say that they actually prefer this one to the first one online. But also, I just like the prequel the most, because it has Cat. I think this film did what every sequel and the title of this film desired it to, which is literally to just be a part 2 to the first film, and to actually feel like a natural continuation of that story rather than being like a sequel, like a totally different thing in the same world. Because you get that a lot, and I feel like there's a couple of examples in the horror genre of films that even if the sequel isn't as good as the first one, it still manages to make it feel like a natural continuation somehow. This is very much like it. Not only does it continue the themes and bring them to their natural conclusion from the first film, and pick up exactly, pretty much, where the first film left off and feel like it's just, yep, that's right, that's where they were, that's what's happening, that makes sense, I remember all this. I could easily feel like there's no break, no problem, with the writing of the story between just like ending part 1 and watching part 2 immediately, which is what I did recently. And I feel like that is a very powerful thing that you don't find that often, especially in the horror genre. A lot of the time you will like pick up a horror sequel immediately after the last one ended, but it doesn't normally feel that much like it's just a boom, yes, exactly, we're straight back in, damn, that was good, I think it does such a great job. Having said that, this is probably my least favorite of the franchise, because I think the first one is the best horror film, and I think Day One has the best emotional gut punches. This one, though, to be fair, has the most bearded DILFs, so can't take that crown away from you, hey? I think there is a lot to love about this one, though. Cillian Murphy and Millicent Simmonds' characters have just a very wholesome journey, and it is very funny that he is the one person that can't understand her, and he's the one that got sent to go find her. I think Noah Jupe with the baby is just infuriating at times, and Jimon Hunsu, what are you doing, man? Like, god damn. Emily Blunt is also just excellent, despite being a little bit shoved to the side for the second film in a row. She got rid of John Krasinski. He's just behind the camera for this one, and she's still playing second fiddle, this time to a 15-year-old deaf kid. But she manages to play this great character that is the perfect blending of trad wife and badass, which is fascinating, I guess. I'm giving Is This one of the top 10 films of 2020 by default? 4 stars. Yeah, it's good to go back and revisit this franchise, and, when you get periods like July where there's like one new film a week, basically, and nothing else, you need to just like revisit some old franchises. So if you guys have ideas for other franchises, we could just review all of them in the comments, let me know.